new relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't know
Projection
if
in
you took me
action.
serious.
If her ex
No, I
cheated,
did.
your delayed replies will be met with
You see
interrogation.
with YouTube,
If her ex was controlling, your natural leadership will be reframed as
I'm
toxic
getting
judged
out
as
of
yourself.
nowhere.
You are filtered through the prism of her pain. Inherited debts. You become the unwilling heir to crimes you never committed. You
Out
pay
of
for
nowhere.
betrayals you didn't inflict, yet the emotional bill lands at your feet. The savior trap. Many men fall into the illusion that they can heal her wounds.
After you told me,
They
I've
can't.
I've just
Healing
been
must come
thinking
from within.
and listening
When you
to
try to be her savior, you don't just fail, you get dragged into
about
cycles of guilt,
about how to
resentment,
channel,
and
how to
exhaustion.
monetize it.
The
Really?
truth, you can love her, but you
Mm.
cannot erase her ghosts.
'Cause the
3.
idea
The
is
cost of blindness, peace, money,
I
and
don't
mission does
need-
not
when
make
I
you noble.
start, I need to be
It makes you pray.
honest.
1.
And then
The
to
financial
the point
slaughter.
where I'm now,
The modern
you know,
legal
I don't
system
want
is
to
not
start
neutral,
when my channel
it's
is
heavily
shut
tilted.
down or start and then I'm
The
stuck.
statistics are brutal. Most
Because
divorces
we
are
did,
initiations
we
fall
start.
on men. High-risk
must
investment.
be-
If her past shows a
Anyway,
pattern of walking away,
YouTube
why
will
assume you'll be
test
the
you on
exception?
this.
Mm.
For
Patterns
you
are
have never
predictors.
done anything that needs
The cost
consistency.
breakdown,
It is one
alimony,
thing
child support,
that
asset
will
division,
teach
legal
you
fees,
consistency, whether
decades
you
of
want
sweat
or not.
equity can be wiped out in one courtroom.
But when you
And
pass,
here's the truth. She doesn't even need
when
to
you
hate
you
you
see
to walk
when
away.
you start, you don't know.
She just needs to
how
feel
it
bored.
works.
A man
You
who
hear
ignores this
you
reality
hear
isn't
that,
romantic.
you hear
He's
this one
suicidal with his
telling you,
future.
do this, you-
2.
a lot
The
of
loss of
things.
mission. A man's
But-
purpose is his North Star.
After
Lose that,
starting
and you lose
running,
yourself. The distraction
One
trap.
day,
Instead
when
of
you-
building your
when you
empire,
put your
you're
video
firefighting.
on-
Instead of planning your future,
tomorrow
you're
you
defending
put another
yourself
one,
from
it gets 0
accusations.
views.
Your creative
Put a
energy,
third one, it
the very
gets
force that builds
1,000
kingdoms,
views.
gets siphoned
Put
away
another
into
one,
chaos
it
management.
clicks 10.
From leader to
1,000.
passenger, you shift
Then
from
you
being
start
the architect of your life to becoming cargo on her emotional roller
You
coaster.
see all those.
Her moods dictate
all
your
those
day.
YouTubers you
Her
are
drama
listening
becomes
to.
your mission. And the most dangerous part, you think you're in love
All
while
of
your
them
destiny is being stolen
are
from under
making
you.
money out of
4.
telling
The
you.
loss of first-time
So what
intimacy
they
and
are
trust.
telling you,
The magic of firsts cannot be
you are
recreated.
not sure.
Once
Can
given
it
away
work?
repeatedly, it becomes diluted currency.
The only way
Emotional
to
armor.
know
Every betrayal adds another layer of protection around her
is
heart.
that.
She may claim to love you,
But
but she
YouTube
loves
is
with
very
suspicion, not innocence.
Somebody
guards,
does it
she
and
withholds,
posts 20
she tests.
videos and he
Transactional
gets
intimacy.
monetized. All
For
of a
women
sudden, he
conditioned
has
by
already
novelty
reached
and high
the-
partner counts,
the
sex
threshold.
often shifts from a soul-deep act
In
to a
2
mechanical
months,
exchange.
another person
Her body
hits
may
it
show
1
up,
year.
but her heart never fully enters. You
Not
cannot
even
resurrect a
can't
purity
succeed.
that has long
Another
been
one
traded.
tells you I'm on my
V.
third
The
year.
behavioral pattern of
Every
chaos
day
and
I
disruption.
post.
Patterns
won't
don't
give up.
vanish, they repeat.
The
Stability
consistency
boredom
will pay off,
paradox.
though.
To her
You get the
chaos-trained
point.
nervous
Yeah.
system, your peace
though.
feels like
the problem is
suffocation.
that some people run out of
She
speed.
equates calm with emptiness.
'Cause I know
She
people that
confuses
started
stability
channels
for a
and
lack of passion.
then halfway through they fall.
Unconscious sabotage.
Because
She will
they
stir
were not
conflict
getting the
not out of
traction that
hatred,
they needed.
but because it
Yes,
feels
but I
familiar.
can tell
But
you,
now the problem
To
is
her,
it
love
leads
is
to
indistinguishable
temptation.
from struggle.
Look,
If things are
and
too
it's
peaceful,
very easy
she
according
manufactures
to me.
chaos to
For
feel
example,
alive.
if you,
Her love,
if you are
you
running
inherit
and you
her
have
nervous
one
system.
channel, for example,
6. The shifting definition
one
of
channel
loyalty.
is just
Commitment
because
is not
you
a
can,
promise,
and
it
these
is a
days
muscle.
there is a lot of AI
Lower departure
softwares
bar.
to make all
If
your
she's
videos.
walked
You
away
don't- you
before,
only
the
need
next
to
exit.
know.
Each departure reduces the psychological weight of leaving. The option mindset,
When
a
was it?
history
On
of multiple
Sunday I
partners,
told you
trains the
about
brain
that
to keep
video,
scanning for
that
better
video
options.
of
She may never fully
Your-
invest. Instead, she lives
Her-
in
her
perpetual
past
what if,
is
always
called
looking over your shoulder at
pain.
potential replacements. Loyalty isn't about words.
my channel.
7. The illusion of maturity. Society has sold
brought
men a
in
dangerous
some,
myth, automatically translates into wisdom,
I made
depth,
it.
and readiness
Oh,
for
you
real
made
love.
it.
Yes, I saw
truth
it and
is
made
often
it.
darker.
If you want to do
Experience
YouTube,
does not guarantee growth.
You
It
must
can just as easily calcify
do what
wounds
has
and turn
already
softness
worked.
into hardness.
don't be
1.
there
Tolerance
and
for toxicity.
thinking I know this.
What she
I
calls
know
maturity
this.
may be
No.
nothing more than her ability to
Check
survive dysfunction.
around. See
She's
what
been in
has
toxic
already
relationships and now brags
Then
about
do that.
knowing how to handle drama.
It is very simple.
But what
You
she
get
calls
the-
handling
the
is really
video
normalizing
script.
chaos.
That's the formula.
Instead of
Rewrite
rejecting
it.
instability, she's adapted to it.
After
She mistakes
it's
emotional
automatic,
numbness
you
for
put it in a
strength.
chat GB,
She wears
till
scars
you
like
tell it
armor,
to rewrite it
confusing
and give
emotional
you your own
shutdown for
version.
maturity.
It does it in
But
in
shutting
1
down
minute.
is not wisdom,
Then you
it's
do
damage
that,
management.
the-
Unconsciously recreate the
Very
same
easy.
dysfunction, because
I'm
it
telling
feels
you,
like
doing
home.
it is very easy.
And you will be dragged
But-
into her familiar chaos, mistaking it for passion. 2. Broken vetting mechanism.
You
Experience
need to
should
like
refine
what you're
judgment.
Uh,
But in reality, repeated cycles of failed relationships often erode discernment. Instead of seeking men with character, leadership,
anyway,
and
I'm just
vision,
telling
she
you now,
chases
you
the
know,
dopamine spikes of her past.
doing.
If chaos
1,000
felt like
views.
love before, she'll chase it again. Her
Depending
radar
on
is
which-
broken.
on,
She
a
isn't
niche
drawn
you
to your
have.
stability.
Can
She's
bring
drawn
in
to what
$3.
stimulates her trauma pathways. And stability,
So what if
ironically,
you're-
may repel her.
What if your
What society calls
your video
independent
hits a
and
million?
experienced is often just addicted to
A million
chaos and
views.
unable to bond. 8. The financial reckoning.
Okay, think about
This is
people,
not merely emotional
talking
terrain,
about,
it's economic warfare.
uh,
Love has consequences in
do-
law,
okay,
money, and
people
legacy.
who do
A man who
technology
ignores this
software.
fights with his heart and loses with his bank account.
You just sit on your
1.
on
Divorce
your chair.
probability. The more chaotic
Tell
her
people how
past,
to
the higher the
design
likelihood
a
of
website.
divorce outcomes in the future.
There are very many
Divorce is not
softwares
random,
that make
it's patterned.
websites. Every day you
A
talk
history
about
of failed
one.
bonds and reckless
Today
choices
you
is
talk
the
about
strongest
where-
predictor of
or-
repeat collapse.
Men
Men enter marriage believing their love will be different. Statistics disagree. Her past behavior is a blueprint, not an accident.
The other day
2.
you talk
Asset
about
protection. A wise
any.
man treats relationships like
So,
investments, not gambles.
people will start
A woman
watching
with a
your
string of
videos.
broken bonds is a financial
Think
alimony, child support, custody battles, legal fees.
some,
These are not
maybe
romantic hypotheticals.
you are
They are
lucky out
cold,
of
hard
nowhere
realities
you
that have
got
bankrupted
one
me. Doesn't
your
protect your
affiliate
wallet.
link.
Strategy
Somebody sees
does.
your video that
9.
you,
The weaponization
how
of
to make a
empathy.
website using Hostinga.
A man's
You put
greatest
your-
strength is empathy,
Hostinga gives
his
you
ability
an affiliate link.
a what?
Affiliate
protect
link.
hands. This
Okay.
noble trait becomes a weapon against him.
Every time a person
1.
clicks on
The
your
savior
link,
complex trap. You believe
$10.
patience, love, and sacrifice
tell
will
me,
redeem her.
if
She
you are
interprets it as
consistent and you
weakness.
have a lot of views,
Your endurance
how
doesn't
much-
inspire gratitude, it gives her permission to test you further. What you think is healing becomes enablement. She keeps her chaos, because you keep absorbing it. You don't save her, you lose yourself. Love has redemptive power. You see her pain, her wounds, her chaos, and you imagine yourself as the anchor who will stabilize her. It feels noble, it feels masculine. But what actually happens? Instead of pulling her into your world of stability, she pulls you into her storm.
And you don't know
You stop leading and start reacting.
don't know.
You stop
You
building
don't know
your
how much
empire
money
and
is
start
in
repairing her
sport.
emotional wreckage. You sacrifice your vision on the
is
altar of
evergreen.
saving someone who doesn't even want to be saved.
You
The brutal
don't even
truth,
need to
you don't
think
rescue her from her past,
to
you
brainstorm.
drown in it with her.
Because every
2.
day there
The
is
guilt thus erupts, accountability rarely lands where it belongs.
Mhm.
Instead, the blame is rerouted to you.
You see,
Every explosion, every withdrawal, every tear becomes framed as a response to your failure. You weren't attentive enough. Translation, her insecurity is now your fault. No matter how present you are, she will move the goalpost. You didn't make me feel safe. Translation, she projects the betrayals of her past onto you.
hello, Sanderson.
You are forced to carry the sins of men you've never met.
I'm good.
You don't love me the way I need. Translation, her emotional void
I'm
is
wondering,
endless,
you
and your
don't want
best
to
will
talk to
never
me
fill
today?
it. What begins as effort ends in exhaustion. Your greatest virtues, patience, kindness, compassion,
been too
become
much
weapons
lost.
against you.
I even
She
send you a
twists them
message,
into
hello,
proof that you should
Sanderson,
try
no
harder,
response.
even when you've given
Oh,
everything. This is
Now
how
I know
love
how to
becomes
deal with
emotional
you.
suicide. Not a single fatal blow, but death by 1,000 concessions, each boundary crossed, each standard abandoned, each
Really?
time you choose peace over your own self-respect. X. Reclaiming agency, the power of no. There comes a moment when a man must face
So
the
how
most
was your
difficult
day?
truth. His greatest weapon is refusal. Society preaches the dangerous
So you are
gospel of
already
unconditional acceptance, that love means absorbing But unconditional acceptance
Oh.
is not love. It is surrender. True love is built on
Alright then.
standards, not blind tolerance. Standards are not cruelty, they are boundaries, and boundaries are the walls that guard your mission, your legacy, and your
It
peace
was
of
good,
mind.
I missed you so
A man
much.
without boundaries isn't understanding. He's disposable. He has no frame, no sovereignty, no protection against being consumed. To reject this lie is to reclaim your throne. 2. Pattern recognition equals wisdom.
So you are
Society
going to
gaslights
sleep
men
now,
into
or you're
believing
just,
that noticing
resting a
red
little
flags
bit?
is insecurity. But the ability to see patterns and act
Now.
on them is the essence of wisdom. Wisdom doesn't live, it lives in recognition. If she has repeated cycles of bonds, believing you'll be the exception is not love, it's delusion. When you say,
But
no,
why if you
this
don't want
history
to
is
good night, what are you
incompatible with
doing
my
in the
mission,
bed?
you are not cruel. You are sovereign. You are choosing clarity over illusion, destiny over destruction. Here is the final, love does not conquer biology. Romance does not erase psychology.
Babe, I was checking
Her
on
past
you
is
if
not
you
a
are
ghost,
yet
it is a
sleeping.
living
Fine.
force that will shape your tomorrow. The poets and movies will tell you otherwise. They will paint love as a magical solvent that dissolves all wounds, all betrayals, all contradictions. But history, psychology, and even your own scars whisper the harsher truth. What she has lived,
I
she
want to
brings
say
into
you
your
are
life.
So much beautiful. I don't
And what
know
she
if
brings
I'm
will either
safe.
fortify your kingdom, or corrode it from within.
Oh,
And so the
I
decision
need to
stands
get
before
you.
you.
A bodyguard.
You can surrender to the narrative of modernity, where boundaries are mocked, where standards are branded as insecurities,
With a bodyguard,
and where
I
a man
will
is
know.
only deemed valuable if he
Will report to
sacrifices
me
himself
every
on the
person
altar
who
of her
greets
past
you.
wounds. Or, you can rise into sovereignty, where your mission is sacred, where your future is protected, and where your standards are non-negotiable.
Oh,
Guarding
this
your
is
standards
not
does
about
not
trust,
make you
it is about
insecure, it
protecting
makes you
what
wise.
I love.
Walking away does not make you cruel, it makes you a protector of your mission. Understand this, weakness is applauded, but wisdom is punished. Society will cheer when you destroy yourself for her,
Alright.
and they will shame you when you choose yourself over her. That is the game. That is the conditioning. And that is why so many men live as hollow shells, empty kings who gave away their thrones to chaos disguised as love. But you are not, most men. You are not here to surrender. You are here to build. Empires are not constructed by men who absorb every storm in silence. Empires are not built by men who let guilt chains dictate their lives. No, empires are forged by men who defend their walls, stand at a 60. Her past is not separate. Her past is not just her business. Her past is the blueprint of your shared future. Ignore it, and you sign a contract with catastrophe. Face it with clarity, and you wield the power of choice. And here lies the highest masculine truth. You do not owe anyone your destruction, your surrender. You do not owe anyone the sacrifice of your throne. You owe your allegiance to your mission. You owe your loyalty to your future. You owe your responsibility to the empire you are destined to build. So remember. The man who closes his eyes for love falls. The man who sees clearly for love ascends. Ascension. Have you ever been told, don't worry about her past, just love her for who she is today? That's the lie. A comforting fairy tale spoon-fed to men to keep them tame, hopeful, and blind. But reality doesn't bend to slogans. A woman's past is not sealed away in some forgotten chapter, it is alive, active, and deeply embedded in the fabric of who she is right now. Every choice, every every trail, every rush of excitement is etched into her nervous system. Her history is not separate from your future. To pretend otherwise is not noble, it is suicidal blindness. The man who ignores this, he gambles with his fortune, his mission, and his very identity. The biological erosion of pair bonding. 1. The oxytocin dilemma. Oxytocin is the biological glue of intimacy. It's released in 3 primary contexts: childbirth, breastfeeding, and sex. It's what bonds a mother to her child, and a woman to her man. But here's the brutal truth: bonding capacity is finite and fragile. ripped off and reapplied each broken attachment. First attachments are strongest. A woman's first sexual partner leaves the deepest biological imprint because the bonding system is fresh. Every bond after competes with that original chemical anchor. Repeated breaks weaken the system. With each new partner, her oxytocin-fueled attachment cycle is rewired, then severed. Over time, the system becomes desensitized. Women with multiple sexual partners prior to marriage are drastically more likely to divorce. Probability spikes to catastrophic levels. This isn't judgment, it's biology manifesting in cold statistics. 2. The dopamine addiction. Where oxytocin bonds, dopamine excites. It's the chemical of novelty, thrill, and one's hookup, dramatic breakup, or high-stakes fling floods her brain with dopamine. Novelty training, her nervous system becomes conditioned to equate love with adrenaline, chaos, and unpredictability. The boredom trap, when she finally meets you, the stable, calm, consistent man, her brain rebels. To her conditioned nervous system, your reliability feels like boredom. The craving for chaos, but her body pulls her toward drama because drama feels like love. That's why many men are abandoned for excitement, not because they failed, but because they couldn't compete with her addiction to emotional roller coasters. Inheritance of trauma and comparison. Her past isn't just a timeline, it's a psychological inheritance, and you